My name is Jacob, and welcome to another episode of Raw and Uncut on the Abrasive Conversations platform. It was not my intention to put out an episode today, but because something happened that I predicted on yesterday's stream happened. So I have to respond to what currently is happening. So in yesterday's stream, I explained that because Israel could be regarded as the last colony, a Western colonial outpost in the Middle East, that the United States and the West eventually will join the war, Israel's war against Iran, sometime or the other. I didn't expect it to happen so soon. So as I went to bed last night and I wake up this morning, I saw that Trump gave the order for the US to strike 3 sites, so-called nuclear sites, within Iran. Now, those particular strikes were celebrated by people within Israel and Trump's MAGA base. They supported this. And the reaction within the United States was not a surprise to me. I know that Trump's base would support him, and I know that the Democratic Party's response would be impeachment, talk about legality of Trump's decision. But there's a couple of talking points that I would like us to consider as this unfold in the coming days. So I wrote it down for me. So the first point that I would like to make is that in this particular case, Trump did not follow standing rules when it comes to conducting a war with another foreign country. It seems as Trump has acted alone in this particular instance. So, in many countries, even in South Africa and the United States, for a president to conduct war, there needs to be approval of their parliament. In the United States, it's Congress. So parliament represents the people. So it's a choice that the people must make, whether it's worth for them to conduct a specific war, because people need to have a decision in a war, because their lives is going to be at stake. So it's not a decision that must be taken lightly. So Trump, without pure arrogance, decided that he would stand up for Israel, because the one thing that became clear as this war unfolded, that Israel would lose a war against Iran. It became clear. So it was just a matter of time before the US had to step in and help their colonial outposts or their colony. So it happened. So that's the first point. Trump acted alone. Now, it's impeachable offense. I know that nothing would come from this in the United States, because this brings me to the second point. Fascism is here. It's something that a lot of people doesn't want to admit. But if we look at the right-wing basis in many of Western countries, then we see that fascism is here. Trump's MAGA base is a fascist base. And a base like that, if you can manipulate it, it eventually will lead to full-scale wars. And I think this might be the start of a larger protected war where more and more countries would get involved. I hope that's not the case. That's my sincerest hope, that this would not escalate any further. But in this particular case, Iran has a right to defend itself. It has the right to appropriately respond to the United Nations. Now, I want to speak to American lawmakers and citizens directly. There came a moment where the US was forced to join World War II, and that was the moment of Pearl Harbor, when Japan attacked the United States, on soil in Pearl Harbor, and it changed the fiber of your society radically, that people decided that this is time for the United States to get involved in a war. And that changed the course of the war for Allied forces. Now, as a citizen of Iran, how do you as an American citizen think they might feel in this particular instance? They haven't done anything to the United States, and yet the United States attacked them. Attacked them after Israel have killed many of their citizens already, because the aggressor in this particular conflict is Israel and the United States. Or let's put it more pertinently, it is Trump and Netanyahu. They are the main actors in this particular conflict. Now, I'm naming Trump as a problem because Trump is heading up the most powerful nation that the world has ever seen. And the American citizens decided that Trump should be their president, and Trump, with a score, with a reason to settle a score, because when he was not president, the media dragged him, there was cases against him, so he came back with a score to settle. World leaders laugh at him, so he came back with a score to settle. You decided that this person should be the president of the most powerful nation for the next 4 years. That's what you have decided, and your decision has created a much larger problem for the rest of the world. There is people in corners of the rest of the world that is innocent. They just want to live their lives, raise their kids, put their children to school, have a normal life. But they're losing their lives in a conflict because Trump and Netanyahu decided that they wanted a specific conflict. They want to dominate the Middle East. They want to be in control of the forces. So if you think, if you're part of the MAGA base, that Trump's politics is to your benefit, it's not. It's the benefit to the elites in the United States and other countries within the West. If you're a blue-collar worker in the United States that support Trump, this is going to affect you more than it would affect them. Now, I know I'm currently speaking to a wall, because that is what fascism does. Nothing penetrates. So what do we do? The MAGA base that supported Trump into the presidency is a result because of the failure of the Democratic Party and the types of politics that they are playing. They've alienated the working class, especially blue-collar workers, and their policy were more related to identity politics. It is time for the Democratic Party in the United States to change their politics and be inclusive of the working class. It's up to you to change the course, the course of history in this particular regard. If you don't, then we will see a much larger war in the coming years. And then my final point is, if you're a citizen in the West, in the UK, France, Germany, if you're part of those countries that has a colonial history, please do not support Trump and Netanyahu in this particular conflict, because this conflict is going to cause innocent people in your countries lose their lives. Now currently, it's only missiles being fired from the one country to another country. At one stage, if this war prolongs, there has to be an occupation, either in Iran or Israel. And with occupation, the fighting becomes more personal. There have to be boots on the ground. And when there's boots on the ground, then innocent people are losing their lives. So if you're a citizen in the UK, France, Germany, all of the Western countries who have a colonial legacy, this is the time that you choose the right side of history. You do not have to enter this war to support Trump. This is for one stage that you can start undoing the colonial superstructure that you have created, and that people like me in Africa and the Middle East are still struggling with. I hope you've listened. I hope someone will do something. But all that we can do as the world is hope that this conflict de-escalate and that it doesn't go any further than we currently see. We don't need another conflict. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and let me know what you think. Bye-bye.